My name is Tom Raziopi. I'm the great-grandson of the founder of Jimmy Buff's, the inventor of the Italian hot dogs. I started going to work with my father when I was about 5, handing out sodas, even before I could reach. I remember one story that some guy asked for a root beer, and I was trying to talk him into an orange soda because I couldn't reach, but he didn't know. So he said, can I have a root beer? I said, how about an orange soda? We went back and forth for a couple of minutes before my father asked me. He said, Tom, get him a root beer. I said, I can't reach. So
how old were you when you first started in family business?
I started cooking when I was 12, and I'm 27 now, so 15 years, roughly.
So you grew up into that family.
I grew up watching my father. I watched my grandfather make a couple of sandwiches when he was still around.
And tell me a little bit, I want to know a little bit about, describe your grandfather and then describe your dad. Like, what are they like? Or what were they like in that establishment?
I mean, a lot of these places that you go to, you get this is almost like an unfriendly atmosphere, and they have like this attitude that they've been around so long. And one of the things that I've noticed, especially with my father, is that our customer service is great. So we have a product that's been around for 82 years and really good service. So some people go to other places just because they really like the food and they kind of deal with the service, whereas every time you come in, you saw my grandfather, or you saw my father, or now you see me, and it's a one-on-one experience every time with every customer.
And do you ever feel kind of pressure to make sure that the family, this business has been the family forever. So tell me, do you ever feel pressure to make sure that it lasts just as well as it did with, your dad and your grandfather were running it?
It's a pressure, but it's a good pressure because it's something that we take so much pride in doing, and knowing that my great grandfather started this business out of his basement. Really, he used to play cards with his friends, and my great grandmother, who was actually the inventor of these sandwiches, used to serve them as a snack to his friends and him playing cards. And people, after a while, started showing up just to eat, and they didn't want to play cards, so they started charging. It was 5 cents for a single and 10 cents for a double. And then, just about a year later, I think my great grandfather was a factory worker. He quit his job, and they opened up the restaurant.
Oh, I love that. That's great. And tell me about what makes, and give me the whole description. Like, if I don't know your place, what are you selling? Why are you the best? And what kind of makes you guys different and classic at the
Well,
same time?
other people make hot dogs, but nobody makes a Jimmy Buff hot dog. Only us. We have that, down pat. I think, in the last 5 years since I graduated college, I did a rough estimate. I've made about 180,000 of these in the last 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about your lifetime? How many do you think you've made in your lifetime?
I mean, I started cooking at 12, but I was still in school, and I would work summers, so I think I'd probably match that, what I did in 5 years over the course of my lifetime, so probably over 300,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And tell me about, what is the Italian hot dog? Tell me, like, what is it? Just a bun, a hot
So it starts off with pizza bread, with most people don't know really what that is. It's sort of a fat pita, and we put 2 hot dogs in there with peppers, onions, and potatoes, and mustard and ketchup are optional.
And so when someone's like, oh, Nathan's hot dogs, they're pretty good, what do you say to them? Are you like,
It's a whole different ballpark. That's a regular hot dog in a bun. Anybody could put a hot dog in a bun, but it's an art to make the sandwiches that we make. The perfect placement of the hot dogs and the ratio to peppers, onions, and potatoes. It's really fun to watch, and we cook right in front of you, so that's part of the experience as well.
tell me a little bit about the Italian side. Like, why are Italians the best at making hot dogs? And tell me a little bit about, like, I want to know, most families who cook together and are Italian are big for sound. It's loud, it's loving, it's frank. Not to be a fun, but it's big personality. Can you kind of tell me about the Italian part of you guys? Like, what is it like?
Yeah, absolutely. coming from a big Italian family, we get together for regular meals and especially holidays, even bigger meals, and it's all about the food. If you don't have good food, then there's no party really, and you got to have a lot of it too. So my great grandmother started making these sandwiches, and a lot of what Italian cooking and cooking in general is what you have available and what's fresh. And onions, peppers, and potatoes, it was something that my great grandmother had, and you could pump those out, and you could keep them. And we do a lot. All of our sandwiches, the cheesesteaks, sausage, chicken, they all come with the same way with the peppers, onions, and potatoes on top.
And tell me, I want to know, so tell me a little bit about like the clientele and the fans who have come. What are they like? Do you have regulars who come like, three, four times a week?
We have regulars, yeah, that come 3-4 times a week. We have people who moved away, and their first stop after they come from the airport, I mean, they still have the luggage with them in the car, is Jimmy Buff's. It's the first place they come. They get out of the car and they're in the parking lot and they go, oh my God, that smell. I remember that smell. And they come in and their mouths are like watering by the time they come in. And to accommodate people who moved away, through our Facebook page, we have about 12,000 Facebook fans. And a lot of them are out of state. People, who grew up here, who moved away. We actually started shipping our sandwiches. And we've had a great response and turnout from, shipping the hot dogs and the sausage. We give them the peppers, onions, and potatoes that are cooked in our pan. And we give them a little shot of our oil and a little cup of our mustard with the bread. And people have been going crazy with it. Yeah.
That's actually a really smart idea. And tell me about West Orange. What is it like? And why do you think your great-grandfather chose West Orange?
Well, my great-grandfather started in Newark. My grandfather opened up the one in West Orange. And it's such a great neighborhood, and, it's such a, community feel, and people come, and, even people, like I said, who moved away, they always come back. There's always things to do. St. Patrick's Day, they have a big St. Patrick's Day parade there. So a lot of people who moved away come back right around that time, and they always stop in. And it's always good to see, old faces. And Thanksgiving and St. Patrick's Day are, when people come home and they come to visit their family, and that's when we see a lot of the old faces back again.
And would you say, if you had to describe, like, a regular in West Orange, what are they like? Are they,
Blue collar.
loud personalities? They come in, they
Yep,
come
a lot of blue collar men and women. We're actually almost 50-50 men and women. And it's just regular people coming to get a bite to eat, and it's quick, it's friendly service, it's good food, and a little rough around the edges, but we don't mind that at all. And it's all part of the fun, and they tease us, we tease them, and it's a very fun atmosphere.
And what if something came up to one of your customers and was like, I'm thinking Nathan's hot dog is way better than this place. How do you think your regular's going to react?
Oh, they might defend us to the death.
Right. And do you feel like people really go out of their way to stop by? Like, really, it's
Oh yeah, we have a whole section of our Facebook called Out of Towners. People who come in from out of state or out of the country. We have people from everywhere that come in, and that's one of the things. Even if they're passing through Jersey, even sometimes they go out of their way. One guy said he was on his way to Connecticut, and he had to come by and get a hot dog because he heard so much from either family or friends or seeing us somewhere on TV or reading about us.
awesome. Okay, so this is the hard part. It's early. I'm going to have to get you to pump up a little bit.
Okay.
I want you, let's pretend like these two people walk into your place and are like, oh, I can totally make your hot dog way better than you can. I want to hear, like, you defending your grandfather, defending your dad, why your hot dog, no one can compete with your hot dog.
Sure. All right. We've made millions and millions of hot dogs. Nobody could beat us. We're the best. We've been doing it since 1932. Babe Ruth, when he pointed his baseball bat to call his home run, people were eating Jimmy Buff hot dogs. When Amelia Earhart flew the Atlantic Ocean, people were eating Jimmy Buff hot dogs. There's nobody on this earth that could come in, walk in my restaurant, and make a better hot dog than me or my family.
That's perfect.
A shirt in space.
Tell me, is there anybody? Do you have any celebrities or any, any famous New Jerseyans who kind of come in and are very popular, or maybe you stop by just to try it?
Yeah, we've had a lot of famous people come in. Shaquille O'Neal, Whitney Houston, Queen Latifah in Bon Appetit magazine just named us the third out of 7 foods that she would never give up on a diet. And the other ones are very generic, like steak or I forget some of the other ones. But then it wasn't just an Italian hot dog; it was Jimmy Buff Italian hot dog. She would never give that up. And we've had Governor Christie. He actually is in the middle of naming the Italian hot dog the state hot dog of New Jersey. And he mentioned Jimmy Buff's when he was talking about that because his family grew up right around the corner from our original location. And we've had an astronaut, Captain Scott Kelly. My father was working at the time, and he came in, and he handed my father a T-shirt. The T-shirt was a Jimmy Buff T-shirt. He goes, "Oh, I thought you were going to bring me a NASA T-shirt." He goes, I don't really get why you're handing me a Jimmy Buff T-shirt." And he said, "Well, I wore this T-shirt in space, when I was up there, and I wanted to give it back to you." And we have the T-shirt framed with her certificate, and it's really cool. It's one of the greatest honors, that we've had, and I don't think any other hot dog place has had their T-shirt flown in space.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. The nice thing about you guys, it sounds like there's a lot of tradition, like located just in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Have you kind of grown up with stories around your restaurant?
Oh yeah, I mean that's where I grew up. That's where me and my father, we used to go work on Saturdays together, and we opened up a few restaurants here and there, but West Orange was always the main one that we would always come back to.
And can you tell, what does it mean? What does the word comfort food mean to you?
When people come in and they haven't been there for a while, or even new customers, that they walk in and they just feel like nostalgic when they come in there. It's the atmosphere. It's, we haven't changed our booths. It's the same booths from 1960 when we opened in West Orange, and people with a world that's changing all the time, it's nice to see something that stays the same. And, maybe somebody who hasn't been here in 30 years, they used to come in with their mom, and maybe their mom isn't here anymore. And they come in, they feel a connection with, with their mom, and it really hits home with people.
And do you love your job?
I love it. I'll never do anything else.
What's your role in the restaurant day to day? Are you kind of like a manager?
Yeah, I'm managing and cooking. And like I said, we cook right in front of everybody. So there's me cooking, and there's a woman taking orders, and we do it that way.
Oh, so you actually cook as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's definitely a hands-on traditional business.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then let's see. One last question. What if you could pick any junk food? What would it be? And it doesn't have to be hot dogs. Just trying to kind of feel out your personality. Like, what kind of junk food are you taking on to like a desert island?
I was in Italy for a month eating some of the best food in the world, and the first thing that I came home, I wanted an Italian hot dog. I mean, there's just something about it. Like I said, it hits home and it makes you feel home, and those flavors that you get with, when you take a bite and there's peppers, onions, and potatoes with the hot dog or sausage, it's really the best thing.
And last question. Why do you think like an Italian-style hot dog is better than just a classic hot dog? Like, why do you think it's kind of a notch up?
Well, first off, the bread. A regular hot dog roll, you put a hot dog on it, sometimes it falls apart. This is fresh Italian pizza bread, baked every day, delivered to us every day, and you just start off that much higher than everybody else than just a regular hot dog roll. And we've used the same hot dog company since 1989 when they opened, not 1989, 1939 when they opened. And peppers, onions, potatoes, they're all fried together, so they all have the flavor that's all infused in there, and that's what makes it the best.